Hello, Tim from Fairplay now on the 20th of February 2023. And today I just thought I'd go through a few interesting emails that's appeared in my inbox, just catching up on those. So if I haven't replied to yours yet, I am a little bit behind, but rapidly catching up. But four ones of interest here. First of all, or the first one's a bit of an appeal for help from a guy who obviously broke the nonsensical lurgy travel restrictions a couple of years ago, and he's looking at a fine which has been passed to a debt collection agency apparently, and he's asking for anyone who can give him advice, even if he has to pay a fee. He doesn't mind doing that, but he just wants to fight this tyrannical nonsense and not have to pay the fine. I think from the sounds of it, reading between the lines, it's a point of principle thing as far as he's concerned. Now, I know quite a few people have got off these kind of things previously, and we are having a lot of success fighting this stuff, but I don't really know who to contact, who the solicitors are, the lawyers who you can get in touch with. I know Lee from the Veritas Vincit channel. If you're watching this, hi Lee, and if you can help, that'd be great. But I know Lee had some hassle and he got some kind of help from a solicitor, so if he can pass that on to me, so I can pass it on to this guy, and if you've had success in fighting this kind of thing, sort of please pass that kind of thing into me. That'd be really good. I do know there's an organisation called the Peace Officers and the Peacekeepers. I'll leave a link to it in the description box below here to be checked out. Anyway, so that's just an appeal for help. Second one I thought I'd give a mention. This probably isn't going to be everybody's cup of tea, and personally I can't attend it anyway because I'm sort of got other things I'm doing this coming Saturday. But apparently on today's UK column news, they were talking about Oxford on Saturday, and they were also talking about an anti-war demonstration that's happening outside the BBC, Portland Place, at midday this coming Saturday, which is the 25th, and it's actually being organised by the Socialist Workers' Party, so that may or may not put you off, but apparently UK Column News was sort of suggesting that it might be an idea if the freedom movement joins forces with them and adds to the numbers. So I just thought I'd give it a mention. Probably not for everybody, but if you're up for it, that's what's going on and that's what's being suggested. And I'm sure if you watch today's episode of UK Column News, which is available on their website, you'll get further details. Third one that I thought I'd mention, someone emailed this in to me. It's basically a letter template that you can send into, well, probably the best place to start would be your local MP or into the government. But this whole thing about digital ID, it's another thing that we're facing, along with 15-minute cities that we were kind of going on about on Saturday and protesting about on Saturday. But digital IDs is another one. There's a consultation period which is coming to an end actually early March, so we haven't got a lot of time. But the consultation itself, which you can go and do, is very convoluted, very hard to understand, and also you're kind of playing to the government anyway, and maybe a more effective way of registering your disapproval and the fact that you do not consent to any form of digital ID coming in the future. They're looking to bring it in by the end of the year. You know, the consultation is going to finish early March and then go through Parliament and everything, and then they're hoping to bring it in by December. So haven't got a lot of time, and it's not going to be a good thing if it's brought in as the letter kind of says. So what I'll do is I'll put the letter up on the screen. There's a bit of footage, about 10 seconds of footage. So if you want to kind of pause so that you can screenshot it or take a picture of it with your phone or whatever, please do so, and then you can use that as a template to send into your own MP. So hitting them from more than one angle, more than one side might be a good idea. So I thought I'd give that a mention in today's video as well. And then the last one, someone sent me in a link to Richard Vobe's latest video, one of his latest videos. Again, it relates to Oxford, 15-minute cities and all of this kind of thing. And the way, basically the way the 15-minute city thing is going to work is they're going to have ANPR, sort of number plate recognition cameras installed all over the place, which is how they're going to tell if you've left your zone, and therefore if you've gone over your limit, they can then send you a fine. And he was talking about basically changing your car's registration from your name into another person's name when you're kind of approaching or reached the 100 limit in any particular year. And he was talking about this as a loophole. I'll leave a link to his kind of video in the description box below as well, so you can check it out in more detail. And it may, again, it's one of those things that may or may not appeal to you. Kind of reminds me of when the whole Big V passport thing was coming in, and people were sort of coming up with ideas and schemes of all kinds of loopholes, how we can sort of find loopholes and sort of circumvent the whole thing. And as many people said at the time, we shouldn't be looking for loopholes. We need to be just nipping the entire idea in the bud, not consenting to it at all, because playing the game, you know, finding loopholes is kind of playing the government's game. Even though you're not strictly complying with it, you're still overall accepting the concept of it. And we kind of demonstrated enough against the Big V passports that the entire idea ended up being scrapped. And I think that is what we need to be sort of looking at. So I don't altogether agree with this number plate loophole thing that Richard was talking about. It's not really my cup of tea, and we need to be basically just fighting to ensure the thing's never brought in. The 15-minute city thing is just never brought in the first place, and I will be continuing that fight myself. But you might be interested in watching Richard's video. He does it in a kind of a faintly amusing manner, and it might be something that we can consider, because after all, if they ignore all of our sort of protestations and they bring it in, we are going to need to perhaps think of other things to fight it, and that may well be one of the ways. So I thought I'd just mention it anyway. So I've got a few things mentioned there. Some of them may be your cup of tea, may be worth your attention. Other things, perhaps not so much. But my role today, as I see it, is just to make you aware of these interesting emails that I've had, giving you a few thoughts on them, and you can run with it if you want to, or ignore it if you want to. But at least I've let you know about these various things that I'm talking about here. So gonna leave it there, let you go and check out these various bits and pieces. The links will be in the, as I say, the description box below. And I'll talk again tomorrow. Tim from Fair Play Now, thanks for watching.